Hello, welcome to Superior Cocktails. I'm your host, Superior. Today we're doing a review on Innis Gunn Highland Ale. We're not doing a spirit this time. I kind of wanted to go back and do a review on a beer, but one thing about this particular beer that I actually like, it has a spirit inside of it. It has scotch infused directly into there. So you have your beer, you have your scotch. It's also made in Scotland, so it uses more of the barley malts instead of anything else, more Scottish type of hops and different things like that. So I'm curious to see how this tastes. One thing about barley, if you know moonshine, barley is one of the things that's in that a lot. Scotch, definitely it uses a lot of barley and different type of grains and things like that. But the fact that this is actually aged in oak barrels or in oak chips, and also the fact that it has scotch in there, it's going to have a really strong smoky oak flavor. Now, as far as the brewing process, it's done pretty much the same way. You can go to their site, look at the process. It'll show you exactly how it's made. But it always starts the same way, where basically you take your grain, you mill your grain, you create your malt, and then once you're done or not your malt, you create your wort, and once your wort is done, you ferment it, and then you put it into a secondary. In this case, the secondary is an Oakerator. Basically, it takes oak chips inside this big fermenter. You had the oak chips in there, and it pumps the beer through the oak chips, so it infuses all the flavor of that oak directly into it. So this is going to be really strong in oak flavor. It didn't really say whether or not they're basically like whiskey oaks or like charred and stuff. So I'm able to see through this pretty well, so I'm assuming it was actually a light oak, uncharred basically. Now, as I said, all theirs are done with this oak infusion, so they all have that smoky characteristic. But this also has that scotch in there, so it even has more of a characteristic, which may also knock up the ABV a little bit. Because the ABV in this, it's actually 7.4. Your average beer, you're looking about maybe 5, sometimes 6, depending on the type. If you get something like a Budweiser, maybe like 4.5. So it definitely is a little bit higher in the alcohol content. That's probably due to the fact that it uses whiskey in it, or scotch in there. Well, basically it's still whiskey, but uses scotch. But it's still palatable. It's not too high to the point of like a 9 or a 10 where you drink it, you'd be completely drunk. Now, one thing also about this is only a 22-ounce bottle. And your basic 22-ounce bottles you can maybe buy for like maybe $3-4. This is about $8. There's also a limited edition one, which is cool because it came in this box. It has like the great artwork on it, a whole story on the back. It says exactly what it is. It's rich Scotch and matured over oak chips infused with a fine Highland Scotch Whisky. It basically gives tasting notes, your color, which is goldens, which is basically tells me it's a light oak, it's not charred or anything. Your smell, which by looking at this, it has a lot of Scotch type flavors in there. But it's definitely going to be different and interesting because I never actually had a Scotch infused beer. I had tequila infused beer, which I do want to do a review on sometime soon. I'll probably get that up as soon as I get a chance. But let's try this out because I never actually had Innis Gunn, but I know all theirs are oak flavored, so maybe I'll start getting it for now. Definitely has a decent amount of carbonation. Not a really big head because it doesn't have like a strong malt. Plus, also the fact that it's a higher percentage alcohol, and with the scotch and everything, it kind of brings that maltiness down a little bit. It definitely, as I said, nice golden color. It's like a light amber. You can definitely smell a bit of smokiness in that. Sweet. Not a real strong malt characteristic, but definitely there. Let's see how it tastes. It's really oaky. You get the different notes in there from the malts. So it does have that sweetness. It's not a real strong hop characteristic. It's kind of a mild, so it's probably, this is basically an ale, it's not an IPA. They make pale ales too, so that obviously is going to have a higher hop characteristic to it. But it's definitely sweet, has a nice smoky finish to it. But it goes from sweet to smoky in that pattern that way. You can taste the Scotch. A good Scotch definitely has a lot of smoky characteristics to it, and the fact that it's made with barley, so you get that roasted, pungent, earthy aroma. It's in there. That's what I think about having the barley. Plus, the Scotch is made with barley, and the beer is malted with barley, so you have a lot of things. Most beers, most ales, it's kind of a mixture of some. Like most of the beers I make, I use a lot of like wheat. Sometimes I use other ones out there, but basically I'm more so a wheat beer because wheat, it's more sweeter. It's not as pungent in the amount of flavor to it, but it has a good nutty, earthy aroma to it. But the barley has that pungent, smoky, kind of a roasted characteristic that you're getting with this. And if you want to get a good smoked type of pale ale, maybe use some barley to it, and it definitely help it out a little bit. It's definitely not a real thick beer, because if you want to make a thick beer, you probably add some flaked barley in there and things like that. But it's really good. It has a decent amount of sweetness to it, surprisingly. But you're also getting a lot of oak characteristic in there from beginning to end. I said about $7.99, about $8 a bottle. It's a lot of people when they look at these high-end type beers. I see some beers for this size bottle for like $13, $14. I'm looking at it for one bottle. That's a little too high, so I usually stay away from that. But it's really good beer. It's a nice character. It's definitely something if you want to try something different, try it out. But $8 a bottle, it's definitely better than paying $14, $15 a bottle. And it is limited edition. And so you get a nice box that comes with that. Definitely keeping this box. Has a real good story on the back and tells all about the different flavor notes. So it's definitely something worth keeping. It kind of also has that bit of a like a German marzipan type of flavor to it. It's definitely there. That's basically where that sweet characteristic comes from. As it says here, it's a rich and rounded flavor. So it's basically, it's very mellow. It's very universal flavor to it. It says heather, honey, so raisins, marzipan. It definitely has that sweet characteristic to it. Nice spice, gentle vanilla sweetness, and smooth caramel. You're getting all that out of that. That's mainly coming from your malts. A lot of these smokiness, the rounded flavor you get in front of the oak chips and everything, but it's definitely worth trying out. I hope you guys like this beer. I probably may finish that later because this is something I definitely want to enjoy. Not have anything else, just enjoy this. I have a recapper. I'll just probably cap it and put it back in the fridge and have it later tonight. But let me know what you guys think. Be sure to like us on Facebook on Beer Cocktails. Subscribe to our channel. But as always, drink responsibly.